Good morning. My name is Zaira Yanan Gomez, and in this morning, I have the honor to present to my classmate, Maria Elena Palacios. We are students of Master in Teaching English as a Foreign Language. In this video, we are going to do an interview, and the topics that we were learned during this unit number 3.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Maria Elena Palacios. To start, I would like to say something about English as a global language. First, English is widely spoken around the world, being used in different fields such as education, science, and technology. In Ecuador, English language is taught as a foreign language with the purpose that Ecuadorian people are able to communicate effectively in today's globalized world. For this reason, English teaching is considered a necessary element within the curriculum for public and private institutions. However, being able to speak two languages is not an easy task, since there are different aspects that affect the teaching and learning process of this language.
Okay, good, Maria Elena, but however, how good is the level of Ecuadorian people at English proficiency, and what are the main reasons for it?
Well, Ecuadorian people are not good at speaking English, are not good in English proficiency. According to the English Proficiency Index 2022 report, Ecuador is in the 82nd place out of 111 countries in the world, and 80th position among 20 Latin American countries. Part of Ecuador's problems of this problem is the number of hours that public institutions have. For example, in public institutions, just students have 3 hours per week, and in private institutions they have 10 hours per week. And also another problem is the methodology used for this activity or to teach English language. Likewise, in some cases, the obsolete methodologies continue to be used for language teaching. This generates an educational gap between, in this case, between the students who are in public institutions and those who are in private institutions.
That is a reality. Okay, how does the government support English teachers to improve their level?
Well, in Ecuador, there are not enough programs to train and improve the teacher profession, especially for English teachers. The lack of teachers' preparation results in the students don't acquire the needed knowledge, and also they don't develop the language skills in an appropriate manner. This problem shows the need to train English teachers that the teachers have a continuous training. Moreover, the lack of continuous training makes that some teachers apply the same methodologies and don't fulfill the needs of learners too.
And how does the government ensure that English teachers are enough prepared in their continuous improvement? Because this is so important in order to teach to our students.
Even though, as I said before, teachers don't have a specialized program for English teachers, one of the policies that the government apply is that in order to improve the quality of teaching of English teacher in this case, that they need to have B2 level minimum to work in a public institution. This requirement tries to ensure that learners acquire the needed knowledge and language skills. However, the government have to try to motivate teachers, I think, to improve their levels by promoting programs. For example, in the past years, there was a program called Ecuador Habla Inglés. It was in 2022, but this kind of programs is not for all the teachers, it's just for a limited number of teachers. And also this program was just for teachers who didn't have the B level 2 yet. But what happened with the rest of teachers? We don't have the no training for it. We don't have the no preparation where the government should ensure this kind of programs for the rest of teachers, especially for public institutions, because the rest of teachers, we have to pay for courses to train ourselves. And also, I think that we need to get preparation in strategies to assess students, since that not all institutions have the same strategies or the same methodologies. As you know, everybody has their own form to evaluate students, and also there are many ways that we can evaluate or assess the different students. For example, Taida, what can you tell me about the institution of in Ecuador? What kind of strategies do the teacher use to evaluate the English language beyond the traditional exams? What are the main advantages or disadvantages of them?
Okay, here I think there are more disadvantages than advantages. So currently in public institution, teachers have to follow the steps that Ministerio de Educación del Ecuador give us. in order to evaluate to students. In this case, we evaluate through projects and portfolios of evidence that the students have to develop during the year according to the grade, and this is in all the subjects, and also including the foreign language, in this case is English. Also in this country, there are various study modalities that carry a different ways to evaluate. In this case, grammar, vocabulary, and skills like reading, writing, and listening. And additionally, teachers use rubrics in order to assess the speaking skills. However, I think teachers have to follow the steps that there are in Marco Común Europeo to know exactly the level of each student. But unfortunately, it doesn't occur here in Ecuador.
Well, as I said before, I think we need policies that provide, in this case, information for teachers and also to support this kind of strategies or the elements that we need to assess for students according to their needs and also according to their abilities. On the other hand, talking about the mother tongue, especially of indigenous group, tell me, what does the government do in order to maintain the mother tongue indigenous tongue? If it is part of the culture that they have, how does the government plan work in this case?
Yes, the government has a plan. According to Sempertegi, the home language in Ecuador is important to conserve because in this case we have the wisdom, knowledge, the cultures, and traditional. Because if the home language is lost, part of the heritage and culture is lost as well. For that reason, the government has implemented materials through Secretaría del Sistema de Educación Interbilingüe, which is in charge of give all the facilities to implement a model of education in these areas to keep the ancestral wisdom and permit to stranger culture and linguistic abilities that's cognitive, affective, and psychomotor skills in indigenous students via bilingual intercultural education institution. This is part of the UNICEF programs.
That's interesting. On the other hand, how do the policies to indigenous people help to keep the wisdom of knowledge and culture?
In conformity to INEC 2022, there are more than 1 million of people here in Ecuador that are indigenous. And in this country, there are more than 33 indigenous nationalities in different parts of this area. On the one hand, Ortiz announces that they don't have a clear and specific policies that can guarantee the rights of the indigenous, although they are inside the Constitution of Ecuador, but they are in risk to disappear because they live in vulnerable situations. And on the other hand, each February 21st celebrates in Ecuador the International Home Language Day. However, in conformity with handbook, the 13 indigenous languages are treated by factors like education, familiar, or communicative aspects.
That's very interesting. I think as teacher, we need to know about these the different mother tongues, the different language, in this case of the indigenous group, and also know about their culture too. Tell me finally, how does the new generation contribute to rescue home languages, and what are the main practices that they do?
I think the majority of young people are immersed to preserve the identity and home language because to be a teacher of an indigenous language, in this case Quechua, they are going to have knowledge about the traditions, culture, and the strategies to teach Quechua. And for this, they are going to pass on assessment to be apt to teach and can save the native language and pass to the new future generations. Maria Elena, in conclusion, Ecuador has a big challenges in English and indigenous language as a home language. On the one hand, if the government have to keep the home language, it has to implement more than a simple plan and have a strong policies to preserve the culture and wisdom knowledge. In other words, the culture identity, because with the globalization, young people don't interest in maintaining the native language. On the other hand, to raise the English level ranking in teachers and students, the government must implement permanent courses where teachers will improve the English level, the competences and strategies in order do they can teach in the best way.
Thank you so much, Tyra. I totally agree with your opinion and conclusion.
Thank you.